You are looking live at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, with the Cowboys, who haven't had much to be thankful about this season, host Philadelphia. The Eagles are grateful that Randall Cunningham was able to engineer a come-from-behind victory over the Vikings on Sunday, but these birds cannot afford to be stuffed here today. Troy Aikman, Cunningham's rookie counterpart, can afford just about anything he wants. The Cowboys made Aikman the first pick in this year's draft, signed him for $11 million, and he's starting to deliver on his tremendous potential.
Troy Aikman is still learning the ropes, but Ed Too Tall Jones has seen it all and then some in his 15-year playing career. I'll have the story of Too Tall's life and times.
Gene Stallings was another longtime fixture in Dallas. He served there as an assistant coach for 14 years before becoming head coach of the Cardinals. On Monday, he was fired by Phoenix. We'll talk to him about his football future.
Sam Weish of the Bengals has also been in the coaching hot seat. But his Super Bowl trip has provided him security. He's developed his own way of giving thanks. Also always helping the homeless. All that and more coming up on our Thanksgiving Day edition of the NFL Today.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And Irv, I hope the snow didn't trouble you on the trip up from Washington.
No, I came up last night to avoid the big snowstorm, Brent.
Well, I'll tell you, it was amazing, Irv, for everybody, because if you've been dreaming of a white Thanksgiving, those of us here in New York have been blanketed by more than 4 inches of snow. That's the first time this has happened in 51 years in the Big Apple, and it certainly added a whole new look to this year's Thanksgiving Day parade. But the weather is not the only thing, really, that's different about today. This, of course, is the Cowboys' 22nd Thanksgiving Day game. That dates back to 1966 when they played their games in the Cotton Bowl. But this is their first holiday appearance without Tom Landry and that familiar hat on the sidelines. And like millions of Americans today, he's enjoying the pleasures of a private dinner at home with his family. In his stead, the rookie head coach, Jimmy Johnson, who has found that winning in the pros is not the same as building up a collegiate powerhouse. But, Irv, I get the feeling that the Cowboys are slowly getting a little bit better right now.
Yeah, they're gaining more respect around the league, too, Brent, because last year they had a very close one, lost to Miami 17-14, but they're getting better from week to week. So the Eagles are going in this game today with a lot of respect for the Dallas Cowboys, believe me.
Let's call in our colleagues, Pat Summerall and John Madden. Happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen. Hope you have a good game down there today.
Well, we hope so, too, Brent. It's a happy day here in Dallas, at least weather-wise. So you were talking about the snow in New York. Here, it's just perfect. We're going to have an opportunity today to look at two of the outstanding rising young stars. Randall Cunningham, the quarterback of the Eagles, perhaps already there. Troy Aikman, the Cowboys, comes off 2 very, very hot weeks, John.
You know, I think Troy Aikman is going to be a great quarterback in the National Football League, and he really hasn't even won his first game yet, but you can just see him. In the last 2 weeks, he's getting better. He broke a finger. He missed 5 games. Then he came back off that, and he says that by standing there on the sidelines and kind of watching the other guys, he got a better feel for the game, and now he thinks that everything is starting to come together for him. Of course, he's going to get a good test this week, and the thing, when a rookie quarterback comes in, everyone is going to test him. And they're not going to test him with zones. They're not going to test him to see if he can handle combination coverages. They're going to test him with blitzes. And it's been a physical year for Aikman. And he's even changed his helmet. You know, he got a concussion 2 weeks ago. You look at his old helmet there. He has a couple little skinny bars there and a little skinny chin strap. Now look on the right. That's the helmet that he's wearing today. He got an extra bar. He got the extra chin strap. And he knows that he is going to get heavy blitzing and heavy pass rushing.
That chin strap, by the way, is inflatable. One of the new sophistications in pro football. The test is going to be tough today, though, from the Eagles, because their front four is second only to the Vikings in sacking the quarterback. So it could be a difficult day for Mr. Aikman. Now let's go back to Brent.
All right, Pat and John, thank you. You know, on another NFC East front, the Phoenix Cardinals fired their head coach, Gene Stallings, on Monday. That was 2 hours after Gene announced that he would not seek to renew his contract, which expires at the end of the season. Receivers coach Hank Kuhlman has been promoted to interim head coach of the Cardinals. And joining us now live from his home in Paradise Valley, Arizona, is Gene Stallings. And Gene, really the point I want to make is that there's always life continues for a coach after he has been fired. I know this is Thanksgiving, very difficult, but I understand that up to 7 or 8 NFL teams have already contacted you about working for him next year.
That's not correct, Brent. I've talked to a lot of people throughout the league, but as far as talking to people about jobs, in fact, somebody called me from New York about that yesterday, and I told them that that's just not the case.
Gene, I suppose we should fill in the folks as to what happened down there in Phoenix. You had lost so many players to injuries. Frankly, I personally was really surprised when the end came last Monday.
Well, really, I thought the football team had played pretty well. Going into the game against the Rams, we were 5-5, still very much in the hunt. Basically, what had happened, there had been some things that were said that I just, personally, I just didn't agree with, and I visited with Larry, who supposedly had made some of these comments. He's our general manager, and after the discussion, and I just didn't think that everybody was pulling together, and I felt like that the chemistry needed to be somewhat a little different, and if this football team was going to win, we had to quit talking about me and talking about the football team. And that's basically the decision that I made, that, hey, when the season was over, I no longer would be a candidate for this job, even though I've enjoyed coaching here, no question about that. Let's focus the next 5 weeks on winning the next 5 games and try to get this football team into the playoffs. And when I made that, then a little later, they decided just to go ahead and terminate it.
Well, Gene, again, happy Thanksgiving to you and the family, because I'm sure we're going to see you in the league somewhere next year.
Well, I hope so, and I know you're going to see a good game there in Dallas.
Who you like today?
About that.
Gene,
well, I'll tell you, I heard you talking just a little earlier about Troy. You know, he came back against us. I think he's an outstanding quarterback, but there again, the Eagles are winning the close games, and if I had to just pick one, coach is the worst pick, but I think the Eagles are the best team.
All right. Thank you, Gene, very much.
Okay, thank you.
There's one group of NFL players who deserve to be in a festive mood today. We want to check in on the Green Bay Packers because they can give an awful lot of thanks for some wild last-minute victories, including, of course, that instant replay touchdown against the Bears in that shocker. Then on Sunday, and what I think many of us believe is the upset of the year, when they went out to San Francisco and stunned the high-flying 49ers. Well, an hour ago, the players finished practice. They clash with, of course, the Vikings this Sunday, a key game. Some have now gathered for the traditional holiday meal at the home of defensive back Mark Murphy. He's down there. Doesn't that look like Father Murphy at the end of the table down there? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And Mark, how many of the fellas you got over there? How'd you decide to host a little Thanksgiving treat today?
Well, we get together every year. We got approximately 8 or 9 guys here with their families. Every year we get together at this time of the year and, celebrate our blessings and, the many things that we're thankful for.
Mark, I want to bring in your lovely wife, Pamela. Pamela, how many turkeys does it take to feed the hungry Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving?
Well, I bought 2, and then I found out Tony was coming, so I bought one just for Tony.
Pamela, let's bring in Tony over there next to Mark.
Okay.
Is it true, Tony, that you fell for the old turkey trick and went for the freebie at the grocery store?
Yeah, it was hook, line, and sinker. I was probably suckered in the worst out of everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Forward came up to me and started singing Michael Jackson.
Before we leave the Murphy household, Don Mikowski, you have an awful lot to give thanks for with this football team this year. And how about Sunday's showdown with Minnesota?
Well, this is an opportunity for us to hopefully be tied for first place after this week's game, and we're thankful everybody's hopefully staying healthy this year, and we're looking forward to playing Sunday very much.
All right, Don, thank you very much. Pamela and Mark, really happy Thanksgiving to you, and certainly all the children who are there. Irv, what a great warm scene that is, isn't it?
Boy, I enjoy the turkey. So she bought a turkey just for Mandarich alone?
All right. Well, we continue now. Dick Butkus will reminisce with Dallas' last link to the doomsday defense, Too Tall Jones, when the NFL Today continues live from snowy New York City, right here on CBS.
The NFL Today is sponsored by MasterCard. Master the moment until the 21st century. Emerson Radio Corporation. Emerson, fine-tune your life. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Seems like he's been around forever, doesn't it? Ed Too Tall Jones of the Dallas Cowboys, and Dick, you spent some time with him this week.
That's right, Brent. Too Tall Jones is as much a part of Thanksgiving tradition as cranberry sauce. And this week we sat down with him and to share some of his memories of his great career.
The 39th Annual National Football League selection meeting is now in session. First choice, the Dallas Cowboys selection, Ed Jones, defensive end, Tennessee State.
My rookie year, there was a lot expected from me. I'd heard that no rookie had started for Coach Landry on defense, and I really wanted to be the first one.
As good as he was, Jones did not start.
and some joked that he was just a basketball player trying to play football. But soon enough, the joke was on the rest of the league. Too Tall fit in perfectly with the Doomsday defense.
It meant a lot to all of us to be labeled, Doomsday defense, and we took a lot of pride in it, and we worked extremely hard to get that reputation and to maintain that reputation.
The highlight of the Doomsday defense was at the Superdome in New Orleans, when Jones and company shut down the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 12.
We had a great game, both offensively and defensively, and that by far, I think, the greatest memory I've ever had during my long career.
The Dallas Cowboys are the champions of the National Football League.
3 Super Bowls in 5 years and 1 world title would be enough to keep most Cowboys home on the range, but not Too Tall Jones. He mysteriously rode off into the sunset, trading in his 4-point stance for the old 1-2 punch.
It's just something that I look forward to for a long time. I've been a fight fan all my life, ever since I was a little kid sitting on my dad's lap, listening to the fights before they were on TV.
Jones's first fight was on TV. Everyone looked on as he learned his lessons in the school of hard knocks.
Left hand, and Jones is down. Too Tall Jones, big left hook.
But Too Tall got off the canvas to win that bout and 5 others. In fact, to this day, he still feels he could have made himself into the heavyweight champion of the world.
I would hate to be 50 years old, sitting watching some of the great heavyweights box and say to myself, I wish I'd tried it. I don't have to live with that now, and if I had it to do all over again, I would do it again, only I would do it sooner.
Just as mysteriously as he gave up the gridiron for the ring, Jones came back to football. He was able to regain his all-pro form, but his team would never again reach its past glory.
I guess the thing that I regret most, and I think that's when things started to turn here in Dallas, when we played the San Francisco 49ers in the title game.
Montana rolling out the right, looking toward the end zone, throwing under pressure, throws his pass, caught by Clark. Clark got a touchdown.
That game hurt me more than any games ever hurt me. That left a sore wound in me that will probably be with me for the rest of my life.
Earlier this season, Jones started his 198th consecutive game, a personal streak that was about to fall victim to Jimmy Johnson's youth movement. Cowboy fans rallied on his behalf with hundreds of calls and letters convincing Johnson to start him until the streak passed 200 games.
I was very touched by that and surprised. It totally blew me away because it was just something that I thought would just blow over. I didn't think it would be any big deal, but it meant a lot to the people who have supported me for 15 years.
Jones has not decided if he's too old or too tired to go on, but no one can say the tale he tells is too tall.
I would like to be remembered as a person that loved a challenge and would lay it on the line, would give everything I had on any given Sunday.
Nobody knows why Too Tall Jones left boxing and returned to the NFL. He told me that he'll tell everyone after he retires, but he claims it's not for any reason that we might imagine.
Which eliminates money. Let me take everybody to the scoreboard. We've had one upset today, Detroit over Cleveland. Now, I know a lot of folks probably think that the Lions, they go into the Silver Dome and they automatically win on Thanksgiving. That's not so. Since that arena was open, they're about 8-7 in there on Thanksgiving Day. And Barry Sanders rushed for 145 yards today, first back up over 1,000. And Will, in this Cowboy-Eagle game, are we going to get our second upset?
Well, I like Dallas a lot because Philadelphia has been struggling, but of course I must mention that I like Cleveland a lot in the first game, and they didn't score either.
Irv, we focus a lot on the Cowboys, but I'm kind of fascinated about the Eagles situation. I don't find them as impressive as I thought they were going to be when the season started.
Well, it's a little frustrating for the team, too, though, Brent. Right now, they feel they're a playoff team. They belong in the playoffs, but they have to prove themselves they're that good. As a matter of fact, last Monday in practice, one of the coaches wrote on the blackboard as they went out to practice, from now on, we run together. They used to have the offense and defense go out separately. Now they stay together. They're trying to push togetherness and team play, and they feel that they belong in the playoffs. They have to prove it to themselves that they do.
How much do they miss Mike Quick?
A great deal. They don't have much speed outside anymore. Therefore, Keith Jackson in the middle, the tight end, is the guy who controls the game.
All right, and when we come back, our super sleuth, Will McDonough, will scoop out the Heisman Trophy as the NFL Today continues on this Thanksgiving Day here on CBS. Better not be a turn. Well, from the Mark Murphy household in Green Bay, Wisconsin, it's a happy Thanksgiving to all of you along the line as we get ready now for the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. And, Will, it's going to be a happy holiday season for at least one college football player who finally wins the Heisman.
Oh, Brent, there's so much interest in the Heisman. You know, the Heisman is picked by the guys in the media like you and I, so that means it's not very legitimate.
Speak for yourself.
So what it started last year, and I did again this year, I try to talk to the scouts in the league, all 28 scouts in the NFL, the personnel guys, and say, if you could pick the Heisman, who would you pick? I balloted every team, and here are the results. Number one is the outstanding running back Anthony Thompson from Indiana, followed by quarterbacks. Look at this. They love quarterbacks in the Heisman. Andre Ware, Houston, Tony Rice, Notre Dame, D. Dowers, Air Force, and a running back, Blair Thomas. But there was also a second part of this poll. I said, okay, because I don't really think the best football player in the country, which is supposed to, wins the Heisman. So I gave them all the same proposition. I said, okay, forget the Heisman. Let's take the best 3 football players in the country, like you had an expansion team, and here they are. Chris Singleton, an outstanding linebacker from Arizona, was 5th. Coming up behind him in the 4th spot, Junior Seau, great, a dominant player from USC with 146 tackles. In 3rd place, another great running back, Blair Thomas from Penn State. Now, here's what you got to like about Thomas. He had serious knee surgery last year, and even though he's coming back off that, he is really, by the pros, right now, the highest rated running back. And here's Reggie Rimber, a wide receiver from West Virginia, 6'6", 200 pounds. Now, watch this guy. He reminds people of Al Toon of the Jets with his great size and great speed. But if the pros could pick one guy in the country as their man, here he is, Keith McCants, 6'5", 258 pounds from Alabama, a dominant player. He's a bigger Lawrence Taylor, if you can imagine that. A guy that covers the field, great size and speed.
It's like I said, whoever wins the Butkus trophy is always the best player.
Give the defensive people some credit, will you? Come on.
Well, he will be this year.
All right, and still ahead of us in the true spirit of this holiday, Irv will show us a different side of Cincinnati's Sam Weish as the NFL Today Thanksgiving Day edition continues live on CBS. Before each home game, Cincinnati coach Sam Weish has a rather unique pregame ritual. He drives through some of the city's depressed neighborhoods, as he did last Sunday, alone with his thoughts. And as Irv tells us, those thoughts are often about those who are less fortunate within our society.
Here it is, just barely 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. I was amazed how many people are actually out. You'll recognize some that are out and about, but haven't been sleeping very well. I noticed the homeless. I noticed the elderly that were just starting their day and hadn't had much of a night before them. There are a lot of answers outside of government help, you know. It's within the power of all of us to do something about this.
In his case, it's helping with contributions of time and concern, whether it's handing out blankets as he did on Saturday or donating his speaking fees as he does routinely.
Yeah, 48 for Bethany House right here. I think the team is very proud of Sam Weish. There is a need for more compassion in this world. You know, the city of Cincinnati, they can put roofs over people's heads. They can put clothes on people's bodies and food in their stomach. But issues of dignity and issue of human pride are something that only people can give to other people.
Let me have Curtis a coffee for me, would you please? These are the people that I have a real feeling for, and they just need our help. If that was a best friend of yours or a parent of yours or a child of yours that was on the street, you'd act, and you'd act now.
He's a special guy, Irv.
Well, yes, indeed, Brent. You know, he said that the people that he's come in contact with who are homeless aren't people who want a handout or derelicts, but rather than said that people were down on their luck, and he's just very thankful he's got a roof over his head.
Yeah, it's a great message for all of us on this Thanksgiving Day. Sit back now and enjoy the football, and we'll see you at halftime. So long, everybody.
Thanksgiving from Who's the Boss?
Great. Turkey.
You're talking about the bird, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Man 45! On, set, and
The festive holiday season warms many a heart, except those who keep a cold eye fixed on the upcoming playoffs. For Philadelphia, the road to glory has been paved with lumps. But the damage has been controlled by the presence of a begrudging defense that has kept the Eagles on the doorstep of a postseason berth. Last week, that door was opened a bit wider. But now, lying in wait are the young and improved Cowboys, whose holidays have already been spoiled and who now hope to do some spoiling of their own. Live from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, the Philadelphia Eagles, searching for a playoff spot, face the host Dallas Cowboys, whose season has been mostly down. Their record 1-10. Here's the way it stands in the NFC East. The Giants in front of the Eagles by 2 games. So in many ways, it's a must situation for Philadelphia. They need to win this one, and then they play the Giants in the Meadowlands next week. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. We wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. It's been great for us. The weather is great. We're set for a game that is unusual in many ways. I think the Philadelphia Eagles have been struggling without question on offense. They've only scored 30 points in the last 3 games. What do they have to do to get things back on track?
Well, you know, Buddy Ryan is looking at this thing as the rest of the season, and he's not looking just to be a playoff team. He doesn't want a wild card. He still thinks he can win the division. He's looking to win the division, and he said if we're going to do that, we have to win every game. Now, he thinks this can be an advantage. If they can get through, get a win here today, stay healthy, then they have 10 days to get ready to play against the Giants. But they got a job here to do. He figures that they have to get pressure on Aikman. Now, with Buddy Ryan, that's where everything starts with that defense. We got to go after that quarterback. We got to get that quarterback. Then on offense, he feels they need more consistency. The thing that bothers them is they get inside the 20 and they just can't score. In fact, they've only scored 1 touchdown in the last 8 quarters.
John, I know the record is 1-10. I'm sure everyone is almost familiar with the changes that have been made in the Cowboys organization and on the field. Yet, with the 1-10 record, I also get the sense of enthusiasm. They seem to be on the upbeat, don't you think?
I agree with that, and I think that this is a team that's getting better. Jimmy Johnson is getting his own team, and I think that's why he got rid of Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was the running back that you had to run the ball to 25 or 30 times a game. I think Jimmy Johnson wanted to get away from that. He wants to be a passing team. Troy Aikman is his quarterback. He's going to be a great one in this league. So today, if they are going to do anything offensively, it has to be Troy Aikman. And the thing that Jimmy Johnson worries about is, can he control that line of scrimmage? Can he get the pass protection for his quarterback? That's what he has to do.
Well, he'll have a chance to find out very early because the Cowboys have won the toss and they will receive the kickoff. Roger Ruzick will kick it off for the Eagles. He was with the Cowboys up until 2 weeks ago. And Zendejas, the Eagles kicker, was with the Cowboys. And this has been a musical chair situation with the exchange of kickers. In fact, the 2 of them met in midfield before the game started and swapped apartment keys. One in Philadelphia for Ruzick, and one here for Zendejas.
One thing in this league, Pat, I don't think you want to take a long-term